Dear students, welcome back into the online lecture series of software testing. Since last couple of lectures, we are discussing about software testing. We began our discussion with the case studies. We saw different software failures and then we concluded that those softwares weren't tested properly and because of those failures occurred. Later on, we discussed few terminologies which are used in the software testing. In that, we also discussed about the fault, error and failure. We discussed their relation in between each other. In last lecture, we discussed about the specifications and then we discussed 5 rules. In order to conclude something is error or something is bug, we have to figure it out using 5 different rules. Just we will go through all these rules so that we will recapitulate all this. I'll get back. So these are the 5 different rules which we have seen. A software does not do something that specification says it should do. Software does something that the specification says it should not do. The software does something that the specification does not mention. Software does not do something that product specification does not mention but it should, and software is difficult to understand and hard to use. See, all these 5 rules are considered as a baseline for concluding whether a particular thing in the software is a bug or not. Yesterday we discussed all these 5 rules in detail. Later on we also discussed about the major sources of errors. In that, we actually exploded one of the misconceptions that we generally have, that most of the errors or most of the bugs come into the coding. But that is not the fact. The fact is most of the bugs come from the specification, then design, then coding, and then there are some other sources. So that we have already seen in the last lecture. Then also we have seen the cost of removing the bug or cost of fixing the bug. So, if you found a bug in the requirement, it will not cost you anything. So, it is like in zero cost, you can remove or you can fix that bug. But if you found that bug in the later on phases, like if you found that in the design, then it will cost you more. If you will got that bug into the coding, then again it will cost you more. And if you figured it out that bug, once the software has been released and in the customer's hands, then ultimately that will cost you many more dollars. So in that proportion we have seen. So it is more costly to fix the bug when the software has been released. So the goal of a software tester is to find out the bugs. This is what generally our assumption. But it's not only limited to that only. But they have to also find out those bugs in the earliest phases of the software development. Because if those bugs will be found out in the later on phases, that will cost more in order to fix. And also there is another role of a software tester to make sure whether the bugs are fixed or not. So generally this is a disputable point. We will discuss that now. When the software should be tested. If you have seen the software development life cycle, generally in the waterfall model, you have seen the software testing will be done after the development. Once the software has been developed, then generally it is tested. But that is the wrong thing. Okay, but you should test your software right from the beginning. So you should involve your testing team right from the first phase of your software development, that is from the requirement gathering. If you don't do that, then you know what are the repercussions. The consequences of that will be the bug will not be found out in the earliest phases, and if you got that bug after the development, once the code is in your hand, then obviously that will cost you more in terms of time, in terms of cost, it will cost you more. So that's why the goal of a software tester is to first to find out the bugs, because that is for what they are paid for. They are paid in order to find out the bugs only. Then second, they are supposed to find out the bugs in the earliest phases of the software development. And the second, once that bug has been found out, they are not supposed to relieve from that, but they then next onwards they have to assign that bug to the developer. They have to convince to the developer that this is actually bug and it needs to be fixed. Then there will be a dispute probably, because sometimes developer will not be agreed that as a bug. So here as a software tester you have to convince them that this is actually a bug and you have to fix it. And once the developer has fixed it, then you have to ensure, again you have to rerun all the testing so that you will make sure that bug has been actually fixed. And because of that bug, nothing else has been damaged which was earlier working in your software. So this is the goal of a software tester. Let's have a look on qualities of software tester. We have enlisted some of the qualities of software tester which software tester should possess. They are not limited to only these, but there are some other qualities are also there. Okay, but we will see the few which we have enlisted over here. So the first one, they should be explorers. So explorers here in the sense, they have to go into the unknown environment. They should not be afraid to go into the unknown environment. For example, if I am testing a software, let's consider a banking software. And in that case, suppose in the software specification something is not mentioned that at how many simultaneous users can use that software. But here as an explorer, I should be able to test that point also, that I should test software with the 100 simultaneous users, 500 simultaneous users, 5000 simultaneous users. Probably the software will break. But even though we have to explore it, we have to explore it till we reach to the end of that software, till we can break that software. So that is a sort of an explorer quality. That here software developer will not give you any guideline that this is how you have to test your software. But here you have to take it upon yourself, and then you have to explore different paths in the software, different ways in which you can break it. So that is nothing but the explorer quality. It is essential in the software tester that they should not be afraid to go into an unknown environment when they are not sure what will happen next. Probably they are testing a software in which the input should be given in numbers. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 0 to 9 numbers. Now they have to exercise another thing also. They should use alphabets also. They should use some special symbols also. And then they should test the software. So this is like an explorer quality. Now here software developer will not say that you have to test your software by entering the special symbols or some alphabets. But here this explorer quality of a software tester will give you a guideline that you have to test that for alphabets and special symbols also. So that is this explorer quality says. The second is they should be troubleshooters. Now here troubleshooter mean you have to solve the problem. Okay, as a software tester you have to figure it out first, but you have to troubleshoot it. You have to solve the problem. You shouldn't run away from the problem. For example, if you have figured out that your software is not that user intuitive, means user interface is not good. Now in that case, you should be able to tell your developer that what exactly that means and how exactly you want the GUI should look like. So that is like a troubleshooter. You are now shooting the trouble. You are not putting your developer into the trouble, but instead you are giving some guidelines, you are giving some suggestions which developer can adopt and developer can actually work accordingly. So that is nothing but a troubleshooting. So software testers should have that quality. They don't only have to put the developer into the trouble, but also they have to put the suggestions forward that if you follow those suggestions, probably the bug or probably the problem that you have found out can be sorted out. So that is the troubleshooting quality of a software tester. The third quality is they should be relentless. Now this is really very important quality that every software should possess. Now relentless in the sense they should not be tired of doing the testing. Many a times you are testing a software and the developer, if developer is very experienced, you don't get any bug. So you should not be tired of looking out the bugs. You should not be give up on the testing, but instead you should go on testing it. Even though the software is perfect, somewhere down the line you will get the bug. But you shouldn't be tired of doing testing. You should go on doing the testing with the different ways. So you should be relentless. Okay, so in the software, like in the banking software that we have taken as an example, you should be relentless. Relentless in the sense, suppose let's consider you are only testing a user validation form in which user ID and password should be given as an input. So here you should try some different ways also. What will happen if you click on the forgot password? What will happen if you put most of the fields blank? So user ID and password is blank. What will happen? What will happen if you will overflow the data into the text boxes? Suppose the software which has been designed, which will take the only suppose 20 digits of password, and if you enter more than that, then what will happen? So you should be relentless. You should not be tired, because if you are testing it for the positive things, means if user ID and password is correct, then it will be allowing you to enter into the software. But what will happen if some other ways can be exploited in the software through which user can get the entry? How your software is secured, how it is foolproof from the hacking, that you have to see, and nowhere you will get that thing. So you have to figure it out on yourselves only. So you have to keep on trying to find out the bug in your software. So that is this relentless quality of a software tester. Every software tester should possess that quality. That is the relentless. Then another quality is that they should be creative. Obviously, this field demands creativity. Software testing field demands creativity, because nowhere you will have the predefined guidelines, predefined ways to test. So you should be creative to test your software, because you are being paid in order to break your software. So you should explore all the ways through which you can break your software. So you should be very much creative. You should think in that way that what can go wrong with this particular software and how you can break it down. And for that, there is nowhere the strict rules are written. There nowhere you will see the predefined document. So basically, you should be creative in mind, so that you can exploit the bugs, you can exploit the weak points in your software. So that is nothing but the creativity. So you should be creative in the software testing field. Then they should be perfectionist. Now perfectionist in the sense, here you should not be give up if something is bad. Okay, for example, I am testing a software wherein there are some spelling mistakes. Now as a tester, if I am testing only functional part of the software, most of the testers will ignore that part, because that part is not going to get that much impact for the software, even though suppose spellings are wrong or there are some grammatical mistakes. But as a software tester, you should also look into those things also. So that is nothing but the perfectionist quality of a software tester. So you should exercise that. How that software you can put into more perfect state than the other one. Okay, so imperfection should not be there. You should be perfect. So if it is good in the functional requirement, now go with the non-functional requirements and find out where that something is gone wrong. Okay, so even though there are some spelling mistakes, if something you think is not that important, but still you should be perfectionist. So you shouldn't leave it up to that point. You should pursue it and you should make it perfect. So that's why you should be perfectionist. Okay, like if I am developing a software for a calculator. Now perfectionist in the sense, everything should work to its precise manner. Okay, so if I am working with some floating point calculations, I shouldn't give, okay, after floating point 2 or 3 digits is okay, enough accurate. But you should be perfectionist, but within the reason again. Within the reason in the sense it should be reasonable. If I'm asking my developer as a test, I'm a tester, and if I'm asking to my developer that after the floating point, next 10 digits should be that much perfect, it should be that much precise, then this is unreasonable, isn't it? Because nowhere we will need that sort of perfection. But if I'm asking my developer that floating point calculation should be correct up to its next 2 digits after the decimal, then this is the reasonable one. This is within the reason. So in that extent, we should be perfectionist. I hope you got that point now. Now they should exercise good judgment. Now this is like a skill that you have to adopt, that you have to develop yourself. That there should be a good judgment. You should know how to break it with the good judgment. For example, if let's take an example of a calculator only. Now in the calculator, if I have to test with all the possible numbers, with all the permutations and combinations of calculations, it's not possible. It's not going to be practical. So I should exercise good judgment. So I should know where it can go wrong. I cannot test any software with its full extent. Always there is an assumption that we can test the software completely, but it's not possible. Testing a software to its full extent, that is 100% testing, is never possible. In practical life, it is not possible. Let's have a simple example of your calculator only. Can you test it with the full combinations and permutations and combinations of numbers and all the calculations? Never. It's not possible. So here your judgmental skill will come into play. So now you know how to exercise it. For example, I will take some sample data of numbers, random numbers of 2 digits, 3 digits, and then I will perform addition. Then I will take some negative numbers and positive numbers, and then I will perform addition. Then I will take some numbers, both negatives, and then I will perform the addition. Then I will get the answer. So that is nothing but I haven't taken all the numbers for the addition in order to test the function of addition in the calculator. I haven't taken all the numbers, but with judgment I have gone. So probably one positive and another positive number, addition is okay, good. One number is negative, another number is positive, addition is okay, alright. If both numbers are negative and I am doing the addition, then answer is correct, then it's alright. So this is how I have exercised the judgment over here. Similarly, we can perform with the other functions also, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. But here I haven't tested all the things. But with the judgment, I have taken some sample data where I think it can go wrong. Or in order to test some sample data, I have exercised my judgment. Because always we have a limited time for the testing software. So you cannot exercise, you cannot explore all the parts in the software, you cannot explore all the permutations and combinations of inputs. So therein you should use your judgment. The next quality of a software tester, that they should be tactful and diplomatic. Now this is really very important quality that every software tester should possess. Now we're tactful and diplomatic in the sense, suppose if I got the bug in the software, so you shouldn't be rude with your developer that this is a bug and now you have to fix it. But diplomatically and tactfully you have to convince your developer that this is a bug and this thing needs to be fixed. We cannot let it go like this in the software into the last phase. That you have to convince. So that is where the diplomatic skill will come into play. You should be tactful. So basically, if your developer is not getting convinced with whatever the bug you have found out, in that case, tactfully you have to convince them that this is with the proofs, of course. This is not only verbal argument, but here you have to exercise with the tactfulness. So you have to tactfully convince them that this is very important, and if you don't fix this particular bug, then this is how it can impact onto the dev software when it will go into the customer's phase, when the customer will start using it. So in that case, you should be very much tactful and diplomatic. Tactful and diplomatic in the sense, these are two different things basically. Tactful in the sense, you have to convince them properly. It's not like as you are a tester, you are just having a higher end and higher side, and you should keep on telling the person that this is a bug and you need to fix it, because until and unless your developer is not convinced to remove that bug, to fix that bug, your battle is still, you are still battling with that. That battle hasn't been won yet. So you have to win that battle. But how to win that? So first convince your developer that this is a bug, it needs to be fixed. And for doing that, you should be diplomatic also. So you shouldn't be only having an argument with your developer, but it should be diplomatic, because many times that thing will go into the you will have an argument, and then you will have the probably you will not be able to convince it. But if you are diplomatic, you will be able to convince them. So that's where this particular quality will come into picture. Then you should be persuasive. Now let's consider persuasive in the sense you should go on to the details of it, and till the end you have to convince it. So suppose you have figured it out, this is a bug, and you have handed it over to the developer, and developer is saying that bug has been fixed. So you shouldn't stop there only, but you should take that fix and again go in detail of that fix and find out whether there are any possible bugs in that fix itself. So this is how you should be persuasive. You should convince them properly, you should get the fix, and within the fix also you should go in detail. So that is the persuasiveness of a software tester. So these are the few qualities which software tester should possess. These are the only limited qualities. There are other qualities are also there which software tester should possess. Like you should have a negative approach while testing the software. Negative approach here I mean that while something is kept in front of you, you should be looked at it like in the negative approach, that how these things can be go wrong. Okay, if you are only positive about the software, you should never look at the another side of it. Okay, so you should have the both things, like you should look at it as in positive way also, like the software should work according to its purpose, whatever the specification has been mentioned, accordingly it should work. But at the same time, you should have another approach to look at the software, which probably developer would have missed. Because when the developer is developing the software, there is only a single angle view to look at that software from the developer's perspective. But while as a tester, when you are testing it, you should look at it in the different angles. So there should be a 360-degree view of the software that you should have. So these are the some qualities that everyone who is working as a software tester should have. So if you are thinking that you should make your career in the software testing, start making all these qualities in your habit. Okay, start taking any software, have your software, whether it is Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and test it. Okay, and test it to the extent that you will be able to find out the bug in it. Now most of these softwares are near to the perfect, but no software is always perfect. 100% perfect thing is not there. So, but that will actually enhance your abilities to test the software which is already perfect or near to the perfect, isn't it? So you should develop these qualities in you if you want to make your career in the software testing. I hope all these qualities of software tester are clear to you. If you wanted to make your career in the software testing, you will start working on these qualities from now onwards, and it's good to go in that field. Having said that, we have done with our today's session. We'll meet you again in another session. Till then, keep studying. Thank you.